This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, we love you, Asia Bibi. My friends, I was thinking recently, reflecting on this Ahmed Mohammed clock business. The great victim of our time right now is Ahmed Mohammed, that young fellow that, as you were following the story, went to school. He had pulled out a clock, the inside of a clock from a clock, put it into a suitcase, into a briefcase, brought it to school. It looked like a bomb. The police had come because it looked like a bomb. This is, you go check out the story if you haven't heard of it, but I'm sure you have. But he's the big victim of our time now. Islamophobia, the hatred of Muslims, and oh, wow, he's on the front cover of every magazine. Obama invites him to the White House. He's traveling the world, meeting heads of state. Real victim of our time. I want to focus on a true victim of our time. Her name is Asia Bibi. Have you ever heard of her? Probably not, unless you're a committed, conscious human being that really cares about human rights and you have done your own research and investigations, because Obama's not going to mention her name. And you're not going to find her name anywhere on the front page covers of magazines or in our mainstream media. Who is Asia Bibi? She's a Pakistani Christian wife and a mother of 5 from Punjab province, from a small village there in Pakistan. At the moment, she is in solitary confinement. It's been 4 years of solitary confinement in a windowless cell. She's bleeding internally. She's vomiting blood. She's not getting proper medical treatment. Where is the world outrage? And what is the story? Let me spend a couple minutes on Asia. This is a Christian woman that was working with Muslim women picking berries in a village in Punjab province. 3 Christian families in a village, in a town of 1,500 Muslim families. So there's 3 Christian families, and they are constantly being harassed and intimidated and abused for not converting to Islam. Asia was picking berries one day with the rest of the Muslim women with whom she worked, and do you know what she did? She committed a crime. She was thirsty, and she was by a well, and there was a little metal cup by a well, and she picked up the cup, and she drank a little bit of water. And a Muslim woman that hated her caught her doing it. This is a crime in Islam. She's a kafir. She's dirty and impure, and she had drank from this metal cup. This Muslim woman ran and told the rest of the Muslim women. They surrounded Asia and began to scream at her and abuse her verbally and began to tell her, "Convert now." And Asia told them, as she had told them many times before, "Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and He died on the cross for me." They were outraged at this. And later that evening, a mob gathered in front of Asia's house. They pulled her out of the house and began to beat her. They beat her family. The Pakistani police came, and they had to put Asia in prison to protect her from the mob of Muslims. But they arrested her after an investigation, because in their investigation, they had discovered that she had committed blasphemy. And under Section 295C of the Pakistan Penal Code, she was imprisoned for blasphemy, awaiting her trial. Ladies and gentlemen, this penal code for blasphemy, it's not something that people just created out of thin air. This is rooted in the Quran. It's rooted in the Hadith. And why I'm stressing this is segregationist, racist hatred. This is bigotry. This is oppression. It's racism. It can fall under all kinds of our understandings of hatred. Where is the world outcry over this? Why is apartheid why is bigotry okay when it's inflicted on Jews and Christians and non-Muslims by Muslims? Where is the outrage? Now, let's talk a little bit about where are the rest of the Muslims? A lot of people say that this is all based on, this is just a tiny minority of Muslims that believe in these things. So let's look into what has happened to Asia Bibi now in terms of Islam. The court trial had finally occurred, and because of the Sharia system, a non-Muslim's testimony only carries half the weight of a Muslim's testimony. So Asia could not properly defend herself in court. On November 8th, 2010, Asia was convicted of blasphemy, receiving a death sentence by hanging. The crowd gave the judge a standing ovation, screaming, quote unquote, kill her, Allahu Akbar." Court transcripts revealed many inconsistencies in the evidence presented, but the reporters admitted that they dared not repeat Asia's testimony because they also feared that they would be accused of blasphemy for even repeating what she had said. Christian minorities minister Shahbaz Bhatti and Pakistani government politician Salman Taseer were both killed for advocating on Asia's behalf and opposing the blasphemy laws. Taseer's 28-year-old son, Shahbaz, was kidnapped. He is still missing. His family lives in agony, tormented about his fate. Asia was put in solitary confinement right after the trial and her conviction. She's in an 8 by 10 foot cell without windows. She is kept away from other inmates for safety, as many other Muslims in the prison have accused her of also, they understand she's been accused of blasphemy, and many individuals who have been accused of this have been killed while in prison. Because she could get poisoned, she has to cook her own food with the little crumbs that she gets. Here are the circumstances surrounding that jail, the village, and the outskirts of this area in Punjab province. Many signs erected in her village and surrounding areas declare support for blasphemy laws and call for Asia's beheading. Demonstrations call for her hanging. One survey reported that around 10 million Pakistanis have said that they would be willing to personally kill her. 10 million. A Muslim cleric has announced a 500,000 Pakistani rupee award, the equivalent of 10,000 American dollars, to anyone who will kill her. Imam Qari Muhammad Salim of the village mosque in Itanwali has stated that he had wept for joy on learning that she had been sentenced to death, and he threatened that people will take the law into their own hands if she is pardoned or released. Last year, a British Pakistani citizen who had been sentenced to death for blasphemy was shot and wounded by a guard in Rawalpindi's Adiala jail. A Christian laborer and his wife were also burned alive last November in Pakistan after being accused of blasphemy. Asia's family has received death threats and has gone into hiding. A sheikh, her husband, has stated that he cannot even let the children go outside. He also expressed concern about Asia being killed if released, saying no one will let her live. The mullahs are saying they will kill her if and when she comes out. This past July, Asia had her death sentence temporarily suspended. Now Pakistan's Supreme Court is to decide her fate. Asia remains in prison, waiting for the High Court's ruling. She rots in solitary confinement at the women's prison in the city of Multan, with threats all around her by other inmates, and she has been subjected to physical abuse from prison guards. Today, after more than 4 years in a windowless, solitary confinement, Asia's health has severely deteriorated. Her physical condition is described as very frail. The living conditions in the jail are atrocious. She suffers terrible pain and can hardly eat. She's suffering from internal bleeding and vomiting blood. She requires urgent medical treatment, but requests that she be transferred to a hospital have been rejected. These blasphemy laws that have sent Asia to these horrifying circumstances and conditions are founded in Quran, chapter 5, verse 33. Also, chapter 33, verse 57. Surah, chapter 9, verse 12. In Sahih Bukhari, 5.59.369. This is just a sampling, just a few verses in the Hadith and in the Quran that serve as the foundation for these blasphemy laws. Let me finish with this. Where is the international outcry about this Christian woman's suffering, about how she continues to suffer till this day because of this segregationist, racist bigotry? Where is Obama mentioning her name, inviting her to the White House? Why is Ahmed Mohammed on the front cover of every magazine? When will Asia Bibi be on the front cover of magazines? And when will there be reportage on MSNBC, NBC, New York Times, Washington Post? When will the honest truth be told about her suffering? When will her perpetrators and captors be denounced? And when will there be an honest investigation of the Islamic theology that has spawned and engendered her suffering? I want to say today that despite all of this silence, I, Jamie Glazov, everyone here at the Glazov gang, we support Asia Bibi and we think about her every day. And perhaps she obviously cannot watch this show, but our sentiments of what we think and care will reach Asia Bibi on a spiritual realm. And Asia, we want to tell you that we love you and we're always thinking about you, and we're going to do everything in our power to get you out. And those of you who want to help Asia Bibi, Google her name. There's many organizations that are fighting on her behalf. Go to BeHeardProject.com. BeHeardProject.com. It's one of the main sites that is petitioning for her release. We love you, Asia Bibi, and I'll see you on the next edition of the Jamie Glazov Moment. Good night.